Right, there we go, we are recording. Hello, Jack and Lily. Here's Joe, who's over here. We're just going to do a little video. I'm not going to video the whole lesson, but what I thought would be useful would be a video that just goes over the scales and just reminds you which ones we're doing, any little tricky bits that you can just put on and play along to at home, because it's only, as I say, it's only about 10 minutes long. And then I'm going to do the same with the exercises, which we haven't looked at for a while. And again, I'm not expecting to play the exercise all fully hands together, but if I just go over them, the separate parts maybe, and then you've just got a useful little video. And then for the rest of your practice, just keep on with your three pieces. So the first thing that we're going to have a look at, Joe's going to have a little play in the background, but I'll play nice and loudly here so you can hear what we need here. So what we need is we're going to start with B major. So just to remind everyone, this has 5 sharps, that makes life nice and easy. And the most important thing is to remember to start with the 4th finger in your left hand. Sorry, it's slightly out of the shot, but you get the idea. And they want this one legato and forte, so that would be loud. So this is the sort of speed, so this is just an example. Now the final thing might be a little bit faster, but that's a good practice speed for us now. So we're all going to have a little go together, okay? So 2 octaves, 1, 2, 3, 4. Say with that one, it's the lower white note in the gaps, and apart from at the beginning, it's always your thumbs in the white notes here, so you can see there, thumbs, always the lower white note, and then even when you finish, it's your little finger there and your thumb, but it's still the lower white note. So on to the next one. The next one is B flat minor. Now B flat minor is the relative minor of D flat major, and D flat major is like B major, is a lovely easy scale. But instead of being sharps, they're all flats. And you'll notice that in this one, it's the upper white note that's involved. So that's the D flat major. So then let's look at the B flat minor that goes with it. When you do your B flat minor, if you're doing the natural version, I'm just seeing if I'm out of camera here, so I'm going to start here. If you're doing the natural version, it's just D flat major, just played like this. And can you see your thumbs are always on the upper white note? So folks, let's just do the natural minor first of all, okay? So there's no raised 7th. It's all 5 black notes, starting on B flat, always in the gaps, the upper white note with your thumbs. Okay, so this is the natural minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumbs on the upper white note, thumbs on the upper white note, thumbs on the upper white note. So that's the natural minor, always good to know that first with any minor, but we need, for our grade 5, the harmonic minor. So the idea is, so here's an example, you take the same thing, but when you get onto your 3 black notes, you slip your middle finger, as it were, onto the raised note. Okay, so here we go, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it comes. 4 over, raised note. Back we go. Upper white note. Upper white note. Here's the raised 7. Now, I'm afraid it doesn't end there, because the last stage is to play that staccato and quietly. Now, playing it quietly is easy enough, but playing staccato is problematic. So here is a staccato version, but make sure you can do the legato version before you do staccato version, okay? And it's quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's that one there. Then you have a chromatic scale starting on D flat. Now this is loud and it's staccato, so I think they're fairly easy chromatic scales once you get into them, but things to watch out for. So if I just do a little bit of it, so you're starting on a D flat, and all black notes are 3rd finger. whenever you've just got what I call the little white notes, the single white notes between black notes, it's always your thumb. But when you're in the gaps, you've then got to think about which way is twos and ones, but which way around. So when you're going up, so in fact, let's do just a way into this. Let's do the left hand first, okay? So we're just going to start with our left hand going up, and we're going to do this speed, Joe, okay? We're going to try that. Notice as you go across the gaps, you're going 2, 1, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So with those, just being careful that when you come up, sometimes people go 2, 1 and they've got their fingers crossing, but you don't want your fingers crossing like that. Let's do the other hand. So to not have your ones and twos crossing, you need to go 1, 2, which will be fairly obvious when you're going up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to try hands together now. So just to show you the first bit, when you come across the first 2 white notes, make sure you're not crossing, basically like that. So here's the wrong one, that's the wrong one. Okay, you need this way. Let's give it a go. So at the moment we'll keep it legato and loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then final stage, staccato and loud. So that's going to be like that. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't cross. Don't cross. No crossing. No crossing. Similarly, no crossing going the other way now. So watch that right hand. Then we have one more chromatic scale, contrary motion, left hand on C, right hand on E, so we're starting a major third apart. The left hand is going to go down from C down 2 octaves, so make sure you end on C at the bottom. With the right hand you're starting on E, so you might not see this going out the camera a bit, but you can almost see it, but make sure you end up on an E here. So right hand is all about E's, left hand is all about C's. How loud do they want this? Quietly and legato. Well, let's just go for that, shall we? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. 2, 1, not 1, 2. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. And that's it, there. So that's all of the scales, folks. Then we have 2 arpeggios to do. We have a D-flat major arpeggio, which we've looked at before. So let's have a little recap. Let's just take our time with this. I'll try and keep it in camera shot as much as I can. So I'm going to start quite low. Now, let's check we've got a D-flat major chord. So that is a D-flat, an F, and an A-flat. Okay. And the general rule is, what I always humorously call the rule of thumb, is that your thumb is on the white note. Whenever you have one white note, your thumb goes on it. And if you have that in mind, you tend to find the rest of the fingers take care of themselves, even when you're doing it with both hands. So the left hand is going to go to thumb, thumb. So if we're doing it with both hands, there's a few ways you could do it, but we could just use our second fingers on D flat, and then our thumbs on F to start it. Then bring a 4 over, and then onto a 2 with a 4 there, thumbs. That's the one, sounds good, Joe. Now that's going to be piano and legato, so let's just do a quiet one, okay? 1, and we're keeping everything deliberately a bit slow at the moment. 1, 2, 3. have one more. Now, I haven't put this in bold yet, so we might not have looked at this in the lesson. It's very, very similar to what we just did. I mean, different notes, but same shapes and everything. It's called G sharp minor. Now, let's just think about G sharp. G sharp has two names. It can be called G sharp, or it can be called A flat major. Still sounds the same. So remember, G sharp is the middle black note. It's also A flat. Now, if you were doing an A flat major chord, which for some strange reason in my head is easier than a G sharp major chord, I think because it's got less black notes involved, it's G sharp. Sorry, if it was A flat major, go A flat, C, and E flat. So let's just play an A flat major chord for a second. That's it. If that was a G sharp major chord, you've got G sharp, B sharp, believe it or not, and D sharp. So G sharp major, it's all black notes, but one of those black notes is a white note. So sorry, it's all sharps, but one of those sharps is a white note sharp. Okay, so that's A flat major, that's G sharp major, and now if you do the minor, so that's G sharp minor, and it's also A flat minor. Okay, and weirdly, if you called it A flat minor, it sounds the same, but the notes become A flat, C flat. I had to think about that. E flat. That's it. So A flat, C flat, E flat. G sharp minor is G sharp, B, D sharp. All sounds the same. Okay. Anyway, hopefully we're feeling. So look, major, minor, whatever you want to call it. Now, when you put that hands together, can you see you've got a black note and a white note there? It's the same deal. 2, 1 in both hands. Just like we did on the other one. So you go 2, 1, then you bring your 4 over onto D sharp, then G sharps, thumbs on B, 4 over, ending on 2 and a 4. Thumb on a B, thumb on a B. Now, just to blow our minds, that's going to be staccato. You may not be quite ready to do it, but here is a loud staccato version. Probably wouldn't expect it to be much faster than that in the exam. So we're almost there, a bit of a marathon, but then at least we'll maybe just hang on to this video for a little bit then. I'll put it in the practice thing and we can refer back to it whenever you want to go over scales and stuff for grade 5. The last one then is a diminished seventh. Right, so what is a diminished seventh? It's a seventh chord, usually a dominant 7 chord, but anyway, let's play a dominant 7 chord. So B dominant 7 is B, D sharp, F sharp, A. Okay, very useful little chord, so that's that. But when you diminish it, the B is the only thing that stays the same. You get B, D, F, A flat. And that's what we actually need for the exam. So, that's it. So we're doing just the right hand. Remember, because it's an arpeggio with 4 notes, we now need to use all of our fingers. Because normally we just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the little finger. This is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try the right hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb under. Don't forget the little finger on the top. 4, 3. And then the left hand does the same. So same notes. It's going to go. It won't feel quite so comfortable on the left, but it's the same notes. Okay? And then you're going to bring your 4 right over onto the D. So let's try our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to put it hands together. Now I'm looking in here. I can't see how loud or staccato, whatever they want on the... Oh, sorry, it's because everything's the same. Sorry, it's just going to be... It'll all be like, oh no, that's not true at all. I don't know how we're supposed to do it. Let's not worry this week anyway, but let's just get the notes right. So here they are, B, D, F, A flat. Notice I haven't used my thumb here and I haven't used my little finger up here yet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's that's all the scales then, in some form. So then for the remaining little bit of this video, I'm going to have a look at the exercises that we're going to be doing for grade 5. So as I say, this video is just very useful for everything you need for anything to do with exercises. Now I need to look at the right exercise would be helpful. So, it's because I'm looking at grade 1. So talk amongst yourselves, folks. Exercises, new sort of, there we go. So I think we settled on Topsy-Turvy and Broadway, that is right. Let's look at Topsy-Turvy. We've done a bit on this before. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a right hand, a left hand and a hands together. And again, you know, you can just refer to it as often as you need, kind of all pause things and try things, but you've just got it here. So it's in F major. It's F major, B flats, okay? Alternatively, D minor also has B flat in it, and the harmonic has. Well, I digress, but it's useful just to keep thinking about the different major and minor relative keys when you're looking at stuff. So F major, and it starts with an F major arpeggio. So here's the right hand, slowly folks. Play along with me. Try and look at your music as you play rather than the video perhaps, but obviously you just use the audio from the video. So, but there's the position, okay? So speed-wise, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, that fast, okay? So 2 beats in, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and hold. Now start with the chord each time. Chromatic, 6th, with a little third on the end. Now thumb on that G. Stretch up to G. Wait, now starting on B flat, chromatic, until the E. At the end we have the grace notes. So grace notes are these little extra notes that are thrown into music. They don't have a value. They're like subatomic particles or something. You know, they kind of don't, they exist but they don't exist sort of thing. So they're there because you play them, but we don't give them a value. You just pop them in front of the note. There's 2 different types of grace notes. There's the appoggiatura and the acciaccatura or something. I never pronounce it right. This is the one, you'll see it's got a little line going through it, and this is the sort that has no value. So it's a little note with the little line. So don't worry if you forget all about that. Just call it a grace note and you'll be fine. So they're grace notes, and if they've got the little line going, they're little, and they've got the little line going through them, which means they have no value. Think of the line as crossing out their value. So this note is worth nothing, I've crossed it out. That's the way to think of it. Okay, so that's what those are. Right, let's try the left hand. So now it says detached on the left hand. So remember, detached is sort of staccato. We know what legato is. So legato is just connected, isn't it? Which is what the right hand's doing. But we want it detached, so we want it. So you break it up. Now, what would staccato be? The same, but maybe more. So staccato is very detached, if you like. And then there's also this thing we call lightly detached, which is where you break the notes up, but you don't make them too spiky. So it's sort of bum, 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 bum. And what would be very desirable here would be to have a lovely flowing right hand and the left hand nicely broken up. It is possible, but you'll find that you'll want to play legato in both hands or staccato in both hands, but we need legato in the right, staccato in the left. Let's just do the left hand on its own. Okay, 1 and 2 and. So, like a sort of tuba or something going bum, 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 bum. B flat, B flat and a C. Drop to F, F, C, octave. And here's the whole thing together. This is what we're after. 1 and 2 and. didn't talk a lot about the dynamics in there. The general feeling is loud. Maybe I should have got a bit louder at the end, but I think let's just get the thing properly hands together. But the general feel is loud with getting louder at the end, so very loud. On we go to Broadway, which is not a million miles different in style. So you may recall that Broadway is like the West End, but in America. But I think when we talk about Broadway in a historical context, we're not thinking about modern Broadway with shows like, what's the one about the president? Can't remember what it's called now. You know, with the black cast in it. It's really good with rap in it and everything. And anyway, so we're not talking about modern Broadway. We're talking about when Broadway became famous in the 1930s and the 1940s. And it's all a bit sort of, you know, a bit jazzy. So that's the feel of this. It's almost like a sort of laid-back ragtime. Now, I was just like reading that then. I don't think we've done that much on this. It's quite fiddly, this one. So let's just see what we can do with the right hand. So the first bit. So Joe, we have done a little bit on this, haven't we? But I can't remember now, so long ago. But then, you know, that's just me and my age, I suppose. But so let's just work through bit by bit. It doesn't say legato in this, but neither are there any slurs on it. But I'm thinking. It's quite nice like that, actually, isn't it? So I think maybe we should. I was just talking about lightly detached. That's what I was doing there. So legato would be perfectly nice, but it maybe gives it just a little bit more style and a bit more oldie world charm if you make it slightly detached. So, shall we look at how we do that? Now, I haven't talked about key. A flat major. 4 flats. You can hear it's quite. You can hear it's quite major, isn't it? And it ends on A flat and in the bottom and the top. 4 flats. It's been a while. So when you do A flat major, you're always looking for mainly the upper white note in the gaps and trying not to put in G flats. So it's a little bit like, you know, when we're doing our 5 flat scale. It's almost like that, but there's just one flat that's not in there, and that's G. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Most of the flats, but not G flat, okay? So that's your first phrase. So we're going up like that. So let's try that together. So you just go, da, and then you come back down. Now pausing, let's look at that second bar. A flat with your second finger. Put your thumb onto the A flat, which allows you to go up to E flat, D flat, A flat, B flat, C. Back to your thumb, back to the middle, E flat, D flat, B flat, G, and then A flat, B flat, G, A flat. So I think, let's just do that 3 times, okay? So either just listen to it or try and join in or whatever, so okay. Now, I'm making it legato at the moment because I think that's probably better for now, but maybe later on we'll try and break it up. But I think if we do that now, it'll just tip us over the edge, so just make it all smooth, because then you can just find shapes, can't you? Okay, 3, 4. Cross your second, E flat, no, it doesn't tell you what to do. Right, at the end, doesn't give you any fingering there, but I think we're going to go ending on A flat with your second finger, and then you go on to B flat. And often, if you're just looking for somewhere to turn and you're not quite sure where to turn, if you've got a lot of black notes involved, put your thumb onto one of the few white notes, like here. See how that helps? So you usually, you know, whichever the white note that's the most convenient place. Thumb, and then little E flat. flat, A flat. That's it. So thumb. So you might want to mark that in your music. So that's right at the end of the line, just before we go on to the second line. Right, so let's look at the second line. So I'm already up on that A flat. Can you see at the beginning of the second line? So it comes back to the C, and then E flat. Now, if you use your second finger on E flat, it'll cause you problems. So third finger on the E flat, D flat. So it's, see that bit? So, and then A flat, then F, D flat, and I deliberately use my fourth on the F because I want my little finger on the A flat up there. That's it. Drop an octave, oops, sorry. Then you drop an octave and walk up. Like that. And then the last bit, A flat, C, E flat, oh, I'm going to sing a different note then. F, E flat, C, A flat. And then, now if you use your second finger, you'll be in trouble because you need to mic your four to do that. And then, here's the whole right hand. And I think that's probably enough of that for this week. We'll have a little look at the left-hand chords next time with that. So there's loads there to use. So maybe try and run this video maybe a few times over the course of the week and you'll be pretty darn sorted on all your scales and certainly the first exercise and a bit of the second. Bye-bye. Want to say bye-bye, Joe? Let's say bye-bye.